Well, good evening, everyone. How are we this evening? Good to see so many faces that I know and people that I don't know and new faces. Those that don't know me, my name's Philip. I've got one of those long surnames that you will never remember and you're going to say it wrong anyway. So I'm not even going to bother either. You can read it on the Malarides. You're welcome. So tonight, I'm going to talk about how you can make the impossible possible. Now you're probably thinking, if it's impossible, how do I make it possible? But you know what? Everything's possible, isn't it? I was down the pub in Crawley a few months ago. Anyone who follows football will know that Crawley Town Football Club were in this FA Cup thing. I'm not really a follower of football, so I don't really understand it all. But apparently they were doing really well. And the FA Cup is quite a prestigious thing. And it's normally Premier League teams that win the cup. But Crawley were doing really well. And there was this boyfriend and girlfriend sitting in at the bar, and they were talking about it. And the boyfriend was like, yeah, Crawley are going to do really, really well. They're going to win all these matches. We're going to win the FA Cup. And the girlfriend was sitting there, not so enthusiastic with it, and she said, yeah, anything's possible. Give me a raise of hand. Who in here believes that anything is possible? Quite a few. So who believes that anything isn't possible? Well, okay. So I don't know what the rest of you think, but I'm going to disagree because I don't think anything is possible. And I'm going to explain why. Can we fly? Like Superman. We've all seen Superman on the TV, but can we fly? Unaided? No, we can't. Can we live underwater? Like the man from Atlantis? No, we can't. Can we be invisible? Like the Invisible Man? With assistance? Absolutely. I was talking about this earlier today as well, and someone said to me, oh yeah, but all these people, they're not real. They're all characters out of a TV. And he's right. But that proves the point. Anything is not possible. So what we have to do is we have to take the anything is possible, and we have to slightly change it a little bit by saying in our capability. Because anything within our capability is possible. And we are all capable of the same things. Okay, some people maybe not because they might have a disability, those kind of things. But generally speaking, we are all capable of most things. We can all jump out of a plane if we've got a parachute on the back. You wouldn't find me jumping out of a plane, but that's not something I want to do. But I'm perfectly capable of doing it. I could jump off a building. What's it called? Base jumping or something? Yeah, again, we're all capable of doing it, but do we actually want to do that? Not really. So if we look at our capabilities, then actually anything is possible. So if we take the impossible, and we've all seen this, haven't we? They take the word impossible and then they say, oh yeah, it means I'm possible. Actually, what needs to be done is we need to push that I'm out of the way. Because the problem is, things are impossible within our minds because we are in the way. We're the problem. We don't believe they're possible. And unless we do that, then things are never going to work. So we have to get ourselves out of the way. We have to learn to make things possible. And I'm going to go through one of those tonight with you. Out of the toolbox comes resilience. And resilience is the ability to cope. Some people call it bounce back ability. Salespeople, they go and they try and get a sale and someone says no to them. Well, they don't just give up, do they? They then go to the next and they keep going until they get that sale. That's called resilience. And normally we match resilience with adversity. What's adversity? Things that go wrong. We have adversity in our lives every single day. It might be as little as burning the toast in the morning. What do? Well, we just scrape the black bits off, don't we? Or maybe you want to put a new piece of bread in the toaster. Or on the way to work, you might get a flat tire. Or what happens in October, we turn the heating on when it's getting cold and it just doesn't work. These are all things that happen in our everyday lives. But we just get on with it, don't we? Because we've learned how to get over. We've learned how to cope with those kind of adversities. We're not born with it. It's things that we learn. And because we learn how to be resilient, we can change. We can get better. So all these things that prevent us from doing something, we can learn to get over them by doing different bits and pieces. And these are the 6 S's, the characteristics of what makes a person resilient. Survivor mentality. I can do it. I will do it. A lot of people say there's no such word as can't. And it's so true, because whatever we tell ourselves, we then believe it. So if we tell ourselves, I can't do that, then we're going to believe that. I can't go bungee jumping. Well, there's nothing stopping me going bungee jumping. It's perfectly safe, isn't it? They tie something around your legs and push you off and you kind of bounce at the bottom, don't you? I'd never do it though. I'm a scaredy cat. That's not something that I'm going to do. It's perfectly safe, apparently. I don't know. I haven't heard about any accidents lately. You know, my best mate did it once, so it must be okay. But I wouldn't do it myself. So what you've got to do is you've got to choose what you want to make possible. And that's the thing, we all have choices in life. We all have choices in business. But it's got to be the right choice for you. One of the questions that I always ask is, are you where you want to be right now? Are you doing what you want to do now? Is it something that you have a passion for? A pervert just now, oh my God, her passion for what she's doing, it came across so much. She started off saying, oh, you know, excuse me, because I'm not very confident at this. Did you hear her? She was just in her flow because she was so passionate about what she was talking about, and it showed. So it's survivor mentality. I can do it. I will do it. I'm not going to give up. When things happen, we need to be able to just move on. Situational control. A lot of things are not in our control. So don't worry about it. Only worry about the things that are in your control. I'm going to move this glass. Okay, that's in my control. Someone throws a glass at me, I can't control that. That's nothing to do with me. I just have to maybe duck or put my arm up or something to prevent it happening to me. But it's out of my control. So many things are out of our control, but we spend so much time trying to worry about them. Why? Because that's just what we used to. And really, resilience is about worrying about the things that you can control and push to one side the ones that we can't control. Because if we try to control things, it just doesn't work. Unless you're very good at manipulation. but no one likes those type of people. Self-emotional regulation. Now, when we're talking about small adversity, maybe burning the toast, or you know, we get the flat tire going to work, or the car breaks down, we don't really worry too much about them. We might get a little bit annoyed, but we don't take too much notice about them. But if we've got something major, maybe we've lost a loved one, for example, that's quite a major event, and it's those events that change our path for the future. But what happens is the emotions take over. And it's the emotions that get in our way, because if we take the emotion out, it then becomes very black and white, and we can see what we need to do and how we need to act. Whereas when we're emotional, we're crying, we're blubbering, we're just not thinking straight. And it's the emotion that gets in our way. So controlling your emotion, learning to control your emotion, will help you become more resilient. A lot of people say, I don't show my emotions. I'm just a man, aren't I? And I don't do that kind of thing. And it's probably true. And in certain instances, kind of hasn't done me any favors, because I haven't shown that I'm human, probably. But actually, it's because I've got my business head on. Business means I don't get emotional. Business means if someone says no to me, okay, move on to the next. I used to take it personally once upon a time, but I've learned that actually it doesn't matter. If they say no, it's no for now. I'm at the wrong time. They don't want what I've got right now. And that's the thing, when you come networking, when you're talking to people, they might not actually want to buy anything from you today, tonight, because it's not the right time. Sometimes there could be someone in the room that you think, oh, you know what, I'm looking for that person. What a stroke of luck. But most of the time, it's about building the relationships first, because I don't want to buy what you've got today, because I don't need it. So learning to accept the no's rather than take it personally, because that's what we do. Oh, he said no to me. What's wrong with me? Maybe I said it in the wrong way. No, they just don't want it now. Solving problems. There's this one thing that I say, it's and I'm trying to think now, it's about creating a solution rather than solving the problem. Does that make sense to people? So you've got a problem, and you create a solution that actually doesn't answer the problem. It just creates like a plaster. You put a plaster over it because you're not solving the actual problem. You're just doing something to get over it onto the next thing. So you need to be good at problem solving, not creating a solution. Self-compassion. Don't beat yourself up. It's like when I said, when you get a no, you take it personally. Don't take it personally. Just learn from it. Maybe they've got an objection that you haven't thought about before. Or it's not the right time. Or there was something wrong with your delivery, or maybe it's the product, or maybe it's the price. There's so many things, but it's not about you. You've got to give yourself a break. Look after yourself. Make sure that, you've got the energy. Make sure you have the right diet. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you meditate so you can think. All these things will help you become more resilient, better person, because you want to be the best you. And social support. Like this here tonight. This is social support for so many business owners, because business owners, it's a lonely place, because most people are on their own. They've got no one else to answer to. They've got no one else to talk to sometimes. Maybe you're working from home. Or the only person you've got to talk to, well, it's not a person, it's an animal. Maybe you've got a dog or a cat or something. Oh, Alexa. Yeah. Gosh. That's a new one. But you know, it's a lonely place, and we need to. We're social animals. Humans are social animals, and we need to be able to talk to other people, just to maybe bounce ideas off them, or see what they're doing, or how do you do that, or what do you do? I was at a meeting with a coach earlier, and he was like, "So how do you get your clients?" So we're just asking each other questions to find out what someone else does, because we're curious, we're inquisitive, we want to know more. This was me 10 years ago. I got released, so probably 13, 14 years ago, 2011. I got convicted of a crime that wasn't really my crime, and I went to prison 39 months. And it's one of those things where you think, oh my God, how are you going to survive? How are you going to get through that? And actually, it's by taking those steps of resilience, those characteristics. It's about telling a different story. Tell yourself a different story. My story was, okay, well, I got 3 years. Well, okay, when I did my degree, that was 3 years. And actually, I stayed away from home, and I was in halls of residence. And it was a place I didn't know. So I just told myself a different story. And then I immersed myself in lots of stuff. I kept myself busy. First 3 months, hell. Absolute hell. And it did get to the point where, you know, I did consider that was the end. Taking my own life. But it was my son who got me through. And I just immersed myself in whatever I could. I joined the education department, and I was teaching others maths and English. And the joy I got from that helped me get through. I was learning. I was doing lots of different courses because they were available to me. And whatever I did meant that I was using up my time in a good way. I was looking after myself. I was looking after others. I had the social network around me. Sure, I wasn't learning the right things, you know, if you want to know about cocaine and how it gets cut up and all that kind of stuff. You know, I could probably coach on the drugs industry, really. But that's what you learn when you're in somewhere, the University of Light, you know, the University of Crime, that's what they call it. But I survived because I used the skills and the characteristics I had to survive. So whenever you're in a place of adversity, there is always a way out. You've just got to find it, and you've got to learn the skills that you need to get through. This is also you. Not necessarily in a physical prison, but actually in your mind. When we're in prison in our mind, maybe we can't see straight. We can't think straight. Maybe we're a bit depressed. Maybe we think, oh, we try something and then, yeah, it's too difficult. It's only too difficult because you don't know how. We kind of fear what we don't know. And actually, once we've tried something, we amaze ourselves and go, oh, that was easy, wasn't it? Maybe I'll give that another go. So being behind the bars in your mind, you can actually get out of it just by learning the skills, the characteristics of resilience. There's a few others as well, but I thought I'd just bring you the resilience for tonight. But life is full of possibilities. Remember, anything within our capability is possible. You've just got to want to do it. I can go out and go bungee jumping. I don't want to. Scares me. I couldn't jump out of a plane. Go, you know, get a parachute or even tandem jumping. I can't do it because it's not something that I want to do. It's possible, but I don't want to do it. But the things that I do want to do I go and make them happen because they are possible. I know they're possible. Maybe I might be a bit fearful because I don't really know how to do it. I remember a time, I don't like going underwater either. So many things I don't like doing, it's crazy. But I made myself go diving. We went to Mexico and my friend said, come on, let's go diving. We're going to go learn to dive. I was like, oh, I don't know. But I did it because I wanted to know what it was like. And on the actual dive, when I saw the video back afterwards, the video was fantastic. All those fish in all those lovely colours, and it was amazing. I only saw that on the video though, because when I was down there, I was too busy trying to breathe and concentrate and swim and everything. I kind of missed everything. But it was only on the video after that I thought, oh, that was brilliant. But I did it because I wanted to. And anything you want to do within your capabilities, as long as it is possible, you can do it because life is full of possibilities. Now, as a special thing for tonight, I've got a couple of books. I've got a chapter in a book that's just been published, kind of has my story in it as well. So the two winners of the bottles tonight will each get a copy of my book. And anyone who I'm happy to gift an hour's coaching session to, anyone who kind of wants it really, wants to find out what coaching's about, and those kind of things. So just come and grab me later on if you want to take me up on that.